Making one of these super common top 5 mistakes as a new or newer real estate agent is going to torch your business. It's going to assassinate your income and completely prevent you from making the progress that you want. Even some veteran agents make these mistakes. By avoiding them, knowing how to identify them, and get past them, I'm going to give you the tools you need to make sure you can gain the momentum by avoiding these top 5 pitfalls. Number 1, getting stuck in analysis paralysis. So many agents that I coach or that invest in my coursework come to me because they say, Rob, I don't know what to do. There are so many things I can do. There are so many methods of lead generation. One person's telling me to cold call. One person's telling me to do open houses. I don't have business cards. I don't have a website. I don't know what to do. Oh my God. So I'm just not going to do anything at all. Whew. Well, that may feel good in the moment, but the reality is that every minute that you delay actually taking action, you're only pushing your own finish line further away. You're only delaying your own success. It makes no sense that you would do that. Yet it's super common to get stuck in that mode of you're overanalyzing everything and it just makes you stuck. Now, the way you can get past analysis paralysis is very, very simple. It is to take action. Literally just do something, which is better than nothing. Part of analysis paralysis also comes into fear of imperfection, which is one of the 4 fears that I classify in my new book that's going to be released in Q2 of next year, Impossible to Fail. Fear of imperfection. So many people fear taking action and get stuck in that analysis paralysis because they're so afraid to not be perfect at the thing they're about to do. Now, the reality is you can't be perfect in anything until you actually start getting better at it. And when people hide behind saying, well, I'm a perfectionist, what they're really saying is I'm a procrastinator. And they're using the perfectionist as the validity to not take action. I'll tell you what, if you were really a perfectionist, you would be taking action right now because you would realize that the fastest way to get perfect at something is to get really good at it. And only by getting reps on reps on reps and doing it over and over and over again, can you actually start achieving perfection. So in order to take analysis paralysis out of the equation, you simply need to start taking action. Now, if you're wondering, what action should I take? Well, that's why you got to invest in the blueprint, right? You got to invest in education. You got to take advantage of the education you're receiving at your brokerage. You got to come to my mastermind on Tuesdays at zoomwithrob.com so you can check out my Impossible to Fail free real estate mastermind. You got to buy my course, Earth to Orbit, to launch your real estate career. You need to get the guidance, trust the person that's giving you the guidance, and then just go. Implement, take action. That will get you out of analysis paralysis because once you start taking action, you're going to realize, hey, this works. I'm gaining confidence in myself. I'm getting results. As an example, literally right before I made this video, I was texting back and forth with an agent named Kimber, who I met at one of my speaking events she came to, free speaking event. She invested in my 6-figure referral-based business bootcamp. It's a virtual event that is a 4-week series, and we are halfway through it. And last week we talked about how to implement open houses in relationship-based prospecting. I gave her the scripts, the techniques on how to book the appointments and how to secure clients right at the open house, okay? She implemented quickly. She was stuck in analysis paralysis when she came to me. And I said, listen, just implement what I'm teaching you. And she did. She came to the session. The very next weekend, which was this past weekend, she implemented 2 open houses using the techniques I gave her, got some clients, and wrote up an all-cash offer. Boom, that's super speed of implementation. By getting the right information and taking action, she got out of analysis paralysis and is actually going to get paid a healthy commission when that contract goes through. So that's what I'm talking about. You got to take action, get the info, and take action. That's how you break free from analysis paralysis. Number 2, lack of self-promotion. Because agents are so afraid of sounding pushy or sounding salesy. Now, the issue with that is that most people come from real estate, or I should say come to real estate from another job. Usually that's not sales related. For a lot of agents, it's their first experience in sales. And realize, make no mistake about it, you are in sales as a real estate agent. You are definitely in sales. What are you selling? You're selling yourself. You're not selling houses. You're selling yourself. You're selling people on the idea that you are the agent that is most passionate and most qualified to help them solve their problems. So that is exactly what you need to remember. Now, here's the thing. No one's going to promote you for you. No one's going to toot your horn for you. I'm a trumpet player. That thing doesn't play itself. I got to move air through it, right? No one's going to promote you for you other than you. Now, eventually, when you start getting clients and you learn how to maximize previous clients, as I teach you, you will start getting your own little marketing team out there that will be promoting you, that are going to be telling people all about how amazing you are. But until you start actually promoting yourself, you're not going to be able to do that. And so many agents think like, well, wait, I made my social media post. I told people I got my license, and how come my phone's not ringing off the hook? Because it doesn't happen like that. You need to work hard and promote yourself. Now, the reason, understandably, so many people, not just agents, but so many people are afraid of self-promotion is because we've all been victim to being sold. We've all been victim of someone being way too pushy, right? Car sales is a very common stigma for being pushy. And I've been through this myself. That's why I loved getting my Tesla that I have now. I went to the dealership and they were like, hey, man, buy it or don't. You're probably going to buy it because it's awesome. They didn't really push me to do anything, right? Because the way their payment structure is based. When you go to the car dealership, and I literally went to a car dealership one time many years ago when I was buying my second car. And I was like, I want a black sedan. And the dude points to this beat up white pickup truck, which is the complete opposite of a black sedan. And he says, hey, but we're having a special on that white pickup truck. What do you think? Because, his manager told him he has to sell that pickup truck today. Like, bro, you're not listening to me. That I still remember that terrible conversation because of how pushy this guy was trying to sell me something I told him clearly did not fit my criteria. We've all been victim to that. Or the telemarketer that calls you and you're like, look, I'm really not interested. And they just keep on pushing. And so when a lot of us think sales, and we haven't been actually a member of the sales industry before, we think about those super negative experiences that we've had being sold by people that are way too pushy. And we're like, I hated feeling that way. I don't want to make other people feel that way. And that's my fear. Because you remember what it felt like to you, and you don't want to make other people feel that way. Of course you don't. No one wants to make other people feel that way. So it's completely understandable that this is a hesitation you have. So you simply need to get over two things. Number one, you need to realize it's okay to promote yourself. You can do it without being pushy. Number two, you just have to realize there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. So when you think about the times that you've been pushed on too hard, that's because someone didn't know how to promote properly. So I'll tell you exactly how you do it. You do it at the end of the conversation. See, if you were to walk up to someone that you knew you hadn't seen in a while, let's say you're at a social event, you're at a holiday party or a business networking event, and you see someone and they say, hey, Rob, how you doing? And you say, good. Hey, listen, who do you know that's looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate? They go, I don't know anyone. Oh, sure you do. You got to know somebody. And that's all you're talking about. And you're like aggressively pushing this. Yeah, that's being a little too pushy. But what if you were to strike up a pleasant conversation with them? And throughout this conversation, you're just taking off-ramps, as I teach you. Remember, off-ramps are non-real estate related conversation. They say they took a vacation. Where'd you go? We got a new dog. Tell me all about the dog, right? You're talking about whatever they're saying. An off-ramp is an opportunity to ask a question based on what someone is telling you. And when you take off-ramps, you are building trust. You're building rapport. Now, keep in mind, you should actually care about this, okay? I'm not telling you like, yeah, this is how you're going to sell them, right? This is like, if you're doing this right, you actually care about developing relationships with these people. So you actually care about these things that they're talking about. But the problem is when people say, okay, I'm going to ask them if they know anyone that's looking to do some real estate, that's all you're thinking about. So when someone's talking to you, you're not really listening. You're not listening. You're hearing in one ear, out the other. You're just waiting to pounce on them with your question, when really what you want to do is actively listen and take those off ramps based on what they say. Ask them a lot of questions about themselves and what's going on in their life. Now, at the end of that conversation, as things are wrapping up, as you've already had a nice chat, that's the time when you say, hey, real quick, as you know, I'm really looking to help as many people as I can with my business. Do you happen to know anyone looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate I can call today? That's the question you ask. Who do you know looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate I can call today? And when you ask it like that, at the end of the conversation, it's not being pushy at all. It's not being pushy to want to help somebody. Because remember that you're helping someone. You're not selling something. You're offering the opportunity to help them with the largest financial transaction of their life. So there's not being pushy about that. You ask at the end of the conversation, you ask politely, and that's how you do it. It's not being pushy to do it that way. So again, you got to realize, number one, if you're going to want to do business, you're going to have to get used to the idea that you're going to have to promote yourself, because that's the only way. How can you help people if they don't even know that you're able to help them or that you even want to help them? Okay. I've had so many deals that I've closed, tens of thousands of dollars of commission dollars, hundreds of thousands of commission dollars, because I asked somebody, who do you know? If you're not asking, no one's going to tell you. So you need to be able to get over that fact. And number two, you just got to do it right. Ask at the end of the conversation, ask politely, and you're never going to be too pushy. That's how you do it. Number three, discounting the commission. Oh my God. That makes me want to flip tables and Hulk smash right away, discounting your commission. Don't do it. Here's why so many new agents discount the commission. Because you're understandably desperate for work. You got to get paid. You got to get these first deals under your belt. And the moment, I'm talking about the instant, that anyone gives you a little bit of pushback, or you say, are you ready to work together? And they go, you instantly go, oh, what if I discount my commission for you? Or they say, you know, I'm interviewing other agents, but I'll go with you if you discount your commission. And you say, okay. Huge problems. And there's a few reasons why. Number one, people, if they're asking you to discount your commission, they obviously don't respect your time or your work or what you do. I mean, think about it. Think how they would feel if they go into their job and their boss says, hey, come on in over here. Look, I know that you're used to getting paid this, and this is what your contract says you're going to get paid, and this is what you always get paid. Now, that being said, would you take 25 to 30% off of that? I mean, I still want you to do great work. You're an asset to the company. I just don't want to pay you as much. How would they feel about it? Of course, they're not going to be like, oh, sure. Okay. No one would want to do that. Now, when you instantly agree to it, there's a few problems that happen. Number one is you start developing your own mindset that not only is it okay to discount your commission, it's essential. It's how you're going to get business. If you agree to that now, earlier on in your career, or at all, then eventually you're going to get to that point where it's just going to be like your go-to thing. And the instant someone gives you any type of pushback or any type of, even an inkling that they might have some hesitation, you're even just going to, oh, what if I discount my commission? It's just going to come right out. And that's going to be your go-to way to solve your problems. These people are still going to expect that you're going to give them your best. They're still going to expect you're going to be a kick-butt agent and represent them to the best of your ability. They're going to expect you to pick up the phone when they call, but they don't want to pay you what you're worth. If you do that, you're going to be like begrudgingly working with these people the entire time. I have never, ever discounted my commission, and I never will, because I don't want to be picking up the phone pissed off at somebody knowing that they expect the best of me, yet they don't respect my time. No good. Okay. Number two, think about this. All right. When you agree to discount your commission, you're probably not thinking about your net like dollar. Okay. Because some people will say, oh, well, this agent's going to get $10,000 for just filling out some paperwork because they think that's all you do, right? They're going to get $10,000 for just not that much work. Oh, well, that's no big deal, right? They can afford to give me some of that money. Can you? Because here's the thing. First, what's the split you have with your broker? right? Some agents, usually somewhere between 70-30 to 80-20. So you're typically giving 20 to 30% of your commission right to your broker. If you're on a team and it's a team provided lead, maybe it's like a 50-50 split. So right away, anywhere between like 20 to 50% of your commission is going to your broker or your team. Then don't forget, you got to pay taxes. So many people forget about taxes. 30%-ish of that commission right off the top. All right. So let's say you're not on a team. Let's say you have, between 20 to 30%, let's land in the middle at 25% to your broker. You get a $10,000 commission check. $2,500 of that is going to go to your broker. You're left with $7,500. You're going to have to pay taxes on that. So there's another about $2,500. So right away, that full $10,000 commission, you're actually netting about half that. You're gonna be actually able to spend about $5,000 out of that $10,000 commission after broker splits and after your taxes. So you're gonna discount that further. Also, if you're discounting your commission, and you haven't done a deal yet, you're in for a rude awakening. You have no idea how hard you're about to work for that money. Once you get a lot of deals under your belt and you become busy, trust me, you're not going to want to be discounting your commission because you're going to be realizing how hard it is to work. So here's exactly how you do not discount your commission. All right. You're going to give the discount commission objection handler. And this is the go-to that I use now. We have a few discount commission objection handlers, but the typical one I'm going to use is, now check this out, because this question is freaking brilliant. Okay. And if you use it and you tell other people about it, just make sure you say, go check out Rob Stein. That's where I got it from. Okay. You're going to ask this question. Is your goal to find the cheapest agent or the best agent? That's if you're working with a buyer that's asking you to discount your commission in order to be able to rebate some of it. If you're working with a seller, you're going to ask this question. Is your goal to find the cheapest agent or make the most money? See what I did with that or? You're planting the seed that you can't have both. These things are mutually exclusive, okay? Do you want to find the cheapest agent or do you want to make the most money selling this house? You want to find the cheapest agent or you want to find the best agent, okay? Because listen, if your go-to negotiating tactic is to drop your own price on your own paycheck, you're not a good agent. I hate to break it to you. You got some room for improvement, okay? You're about to negotiate for other people's money. If you're selling a house, you're about to make sure your seller gets the best deal on that house. If you're a buyer agent, you're about to make sure your buyer gets the best deal on that house. You don't even know how to negotiate for your own paycheck, and you expect you're going to do a good job negotiating for other people's money? No, you won't. And that's exactly what I ask my sellers or my buyers. I say, look, you're trying to sell this house for top dollar. You've told me you want to get the most money. Isn't that right? Yes. So let me ask you this. If you find an agent that is so desperate for work, so willing to discount their commission that they're ready to give up their own money like that, is that the agent that you really want negotiating for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of your money? See what they say. That usually does the trick. Okay. And then you tell them, look, because of my negotiating skills, my marketing skills, you will make more money working with me even after paying my full commission, because I'm going to be able to sell this house for more than an agent that doesn't know how to negotiate and their only skill is to drop the price. Keep in mind, they're probably going to convince you to take lowball offers because they're so desperate to get a paycheck. They just want to get paid. Versus I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure you get top dollar, which I know is most important to you, isn't it? With that downswing at the end, isn't it? Right? That's exactly how you do it. Okay. The most I ever had to object, 6 times. 6 times I was at a listing appointment and this dude would not sign the agreement. The thing about it was he had just terminated agreement with a discount agent, and he said, I think they were just desperate to get paid and they were trying to convince me to sell to sell at a low ball offer. They didn't know how to market the property. And I'm like, look, you fired a discount agent and you want to hire another one? That makes no sense, right? I'm not a discount agent. I'm an awesome agent and you're going to get the best from me. Let's sign the agreement. I want to think about it. 6 times I had to ask him. You know what happened on the 6th time? He goes, okay, sold that thing for full commission, got a 5-star review. It was awesome, right? You have to be able to stick up for yourself. Do not discount the commission. The 4th most common error, no rep agreements. Look, you have to have rep agreements with your clients. You got to have rep agreements with your clients. If you don't have rep agreements with your clients, you are really wasting your time, again, with people that don't respect your time. Now, this mainly goes out to the agents that are working with buyers, all right? Obviously, if you have a seller, you're going to list their house. You're going to spend thousands of dollars on pictures and marketing and staging and all that kind of stuff. Of course, you're going to have a listing agreement in place. Why do so many buyer agents not have rep agreements out there? I'll tell you why. Because you're scared. Because you don't want to advocate for yourself. Because you probably at one time asked someone to sign a rep agreement and they gave you some pushback. And rather than risk sticking up for yourself, you said, oh, never mind. No, let's not do a rep agreement. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Let's sign the rep agreement when we make the offer. The problem with that is that, remember, a rep agreement is a mutual commitment to each other. You're committed to them. You're going to give them your best effort, and they're committed to you. Make sure they're not going to go work with another agent, right? When you're running your butt off, showing properties, spending money on gas, that they don't say, oh, you know what? Well, we went with this other agent. They showed us this house, and they're writing up the offer for us. Trust me, that will happen to you if it hasn't happened yet, if you're not instilling rep agreements. Now, the thing with rep agreements is, when I talk to agents about rep agreements, and I'm like, why don't you have rep agreements? And they look at me like I'm the one who's making a mistake. And they always have this very snooty attitude, and they say something to the effect of, Rob, I want my clients to work with me because they want to, not because they feel obligated to. And that is why I don't do rep agreements. Lame, and that's not even true. You're not doing rep agreements because you're scared to advocate for yourself, okay? And also, those two things are not mutually exclusive, all right? Your client should be excited to be obligated to you. Why do so many agents think like, oh, well, if they sign a rep agreement, they're now working with me because they have to, not because they want to? What if they want to sign the rep agreement? Hello, right? You should be able to get them excited about signing the rep agreement. And if they're not excited to sign the rep agreement, if they're not ready and willing to sign the rep agreement, that's your fault. Not theirs. That is exclusively your fault. It means you didn't do a good enough job being compelling, helping them understand the benefits of working with you and why it's actually to their advantage to sign the rep agreement. Here's exactly how you get it signed. Number 1, you're going to plant that seed at the beginning of your buyer presentation, which you better be having a buyer presentation in your systems. If you don't, that's a separate video and a separate problem. The first thing I train my agents to do on my team and that I coach around the country is that when you have your buyer presentation, is you have the 6-step buyer presentation, all right? And steps 5 and 6 plant that seed. So when you go through, you list steps 1 to 4, and then step 5 you say is the mutual agreement, and step 6 is forms. Not contracts, not paperwork, forms, all right? And there's a reason I have that word in there, which I teach you in my course. Now, when you get to step 5, you're going to say, okay, now step 5 is assuming at the end of this thing, we're going to form a mutual agreement to work together. We're just going to make it official. We're going to sign the forms and start viewing some homes. Sound good? Perfect. So you're planting that seed right away. Hey, at the end of this meeting, I will be asking you to sign some forms to make our relationship official. Now, later, you're going to have a part of the presentation where you're going to show them the process of buying a home in your state. Right here in Texas, my team, we have the 9-step process to buying a home. Now, that's not like an official state of Texas thing. That's just 9-step thing, infographic that I made up that we have in our buyer presentation. It looks just like this. It's really great. And we go through that. And step 3 is engaging my team, right? So step 3, of course, assuming we're going to form a mutual agreement to work together, we're going to make it official, sign that representation agreement, and that's going to allow me to go to work for you. Any questions? Let's move on to step 4. So again, you're planting the seed. Hey, you got to sign some forms with me in order to do this thing. So then, as you're going through all the benefits of working with you, all the benefits you provide, everything that you're going to crush as their buyer agent, by the end of it, you're going to say, all right, now, I know we have a great understanding. I understand your situation perfectly. You know I'm going to do a great job. Are you ready to form a mutual agreement to work together to get you into the perfect home? You're going to have a downswing at the end, and then you're going to stare at them until they say yes. You're just going to watch, and you're going to embrace any silence. And if they say no, you handle the objection and ask again. But every buyer consultation should end with a signed rep agreement because that is a mutual commitment to each other. Okay? Lastly, step 5, and I saved the biggest one for last. Not investing in your own education. Whew. Here's the deal. Getting your license and learning how to actually make money as an agent are two completely different things. That is literally the opening line of the intro video of my Earth to Orbit sales course, because that's the truth. And any agent that's watching this is probably nodding your head right now, right? Tell me, when you were getting your license, did you learn how to make money as an agent? No. You learn about laws, compliance, fiduciary responsibilities, for sure, very important things, but you do not learn how to make money as an agent. You don't learn how to prospect. You learn how to negotiate. Right? You don't learn how to get the rep agreement signed. You don't learn how to scale. You don't learn how to do a buyer or seller consultation. You don't learn any of those things. It's up to you to get that education. Now, a lot of brokerages do have good education. Oftentimes, they're not quite as good as they say they're going to be. At least that's what I hear. But it's important that you realize, look, I just spent a few $100s in a couple weeks to get my license. You know you're not equipped to go out there and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. What you need to do is get the blueprint. You need to get the information from someone that has achieved exactly what you're trying to do and has a great track record of coaching other agents in your position to do the same thing and start crushing it and making money and really accelerate their career. Most agents do not spend money on education because their priorities are all jacked up. They'll have no problem spending $1,000 on this thing or having, 30, 40 pairs of shoes in the closet that they're not going to wear, or all sorts of fancy stuff they don't really use or can't afford, or going out to the bar and dropping $80 on a couple drinks. But when it comes to, hey, would you spend a few $100s or maybe $1,000 on this course that's going to teach you how to make hundreds of thousands of dollars as a real estate agent? No, I'm going to do it my way, says the agent that's closed 0 to 1 deals in their life. Makes no sense. You don't know how to do it yet. You haven't received the information yet. You need to get the information and then implement it. Part of the reason people don't want to spend money on education is it's not as instantly gratifying. I'll go back to the phone analogy, right? If I want to get the new phone, I'm going to spend money on it and then I'm going to get it. It's going to be in my hands right away. If I go to a restaurant to go out to dinner, I go there and the food's there. I actually get the food in my face before I even pay for it. When you buy something, you typically get the thing that you're buying immediately. And in this society, which promotes, how to hack your way through productivity and how to make your day as easy as possible with no stress or obstacles, people are hesitant to spend money on something that is not going to get them the thing they want right away. So if I were to ask you, hey, if you give me $1,000 today and I give you $50,000 in 4 months, guaranteed you're going to get 50 grand in 4 months if you give me $1,000 today, would you do that? Everyone would say, yes, absolutely. Where do I sign? No doubt about it. Now, if I said, okay, by the way, that $1,000 is for an educational course that I guarantee can get you at least that 50 grand as long as you implement what's in the course. It's going to take some work. You're going to have to work on it, but for sure, you're going to make that money as long as you just do what the course says. Would you do it? I guarantee you so many people would say, oh, wait, it's going to take work? No. I might not get it back? No. Here's the thing. If you're investing in the right blueprint, it's going to work. And the only reason it won't is you. If you don't implement it, it's not going to work. But every decision you make comes with a guarantee, and you are that guarantee that you're going to implement what you learn and go make money from it. I spend at least $50,000 a year on education, conferences, courses, and coaches because I know that when I implement what they teach me, I'm going to make way more money. 100%. Okay. It's no coincidence that when I started spending $1,500 a month on one-to-one real estate coaching, which at that time in my career years ago was the most amount of money I'd ever spent on coaching, but I knew it was a commitment and an investment in myself. 7 months after starting to spend $1,500 a month on coaching, I had my first $100,000 commission month. It's no coincidence because even though it was a lot of money to invest, I knew that I'm learning from a great coach and I will implement whatever he says as fast as possible. And I did, and it worked. So the thing is that not only is education free, you actually get paid to spend money on it. Because when you implement what you learned, you get all that money back plus way, 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 way more. All of the agents that invest in my course make 30 to 50 to even 100 times their ROI with 1 or 2 deals. So it only makes sense that if you actually implement what you learn, you're going to make money. Okay? So don't be afraid to invest in education, because if you're afraid to invest in education, you're only delaying your own success. Those are the top 5 mistakes agents make and how you can avoid them. And as long as you implement with massive action, relentless consistency, and time, it's absolutely going to be impossible to fail. If you want to learn more how to crush your career, come to my Tuesday Mastermind. It's free. Zoomwithrob.com at 11 a.m. Bring your questions. I'm bringing the answers. I'll see you there. Now go have a wonderful income-producing day by avoiding these mistakes.